and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
The sun is setting on Derek Jeter's Major League career. He has announced his retirement. We know that. But now it seems more real. This is the first of 8 remaining games at home. The last 8 games Derek Jeter will ever play in the Yankees' home white pinstripes. He's ready. We're ready. It's time for baseball. As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in the first of a 4-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with Ken Singleton and David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees are off the road. They actually have one more road trip remaining, 3 games in Boston. This road trip did not go well, but it ended well.
Well, they salvaged the final game of the series against the Tampa Bay Rays at Tropicana Field last night. Brandon McCarthy on the mound for the New York Yankees. Pitched an excellent game, another quality start. He set the Rays down time and time again. But the Yankees needed to come from behind. In the 5th inning, Chase Headley with a double. He's going to score Chris Young. The game is tied at 1. Brendan Ryan comes through. A ground rule double to right. That scores Headley. The Yankees had a 2-1 lead. David Robertson came on for the save, his 37th of the year, and the Yankees won the game by a score of 3-2.
Some of the stars in this game, McCarthy, you talked about 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. He's pitched very well since becoming a Yankee. Dellin Betances, what a season for him. 2 strikeouts yesterday, giving him 132. That's the most strikeouts in one season for a reliever in Yankee history. And Derek Jeter did get a hit. He snapped an 0-for-28 skid. That's last night. Now tonight. Tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. R.A. Dickey will get the start for the Toronto Blue Jays, and for the Yankees it's the rookie Shane Green, and he's been a pretty good rookie, David.
Well, he has, out of nowhere. Even though a couple of years ago he was the minor league pitcher of the year for the Yankees, you didn't really know what he was going to give, especially when he got on the big league level. But what he gives you is nasty stuff. A much better slider than we ever thought he had. It's increasingly improved. The Orioles tell you by their swings how tough that pitch is to pick up. And even some of the social media tells you. Adam Jones talks about, this guy's the real deal. I can't pick up that slider. Shane Green got a chance to really solidify his position in the rotation working into next year.
Now, the first time we got a look at Derek Jeter was in 1995 on the Major League level. Through the years, he's given the fans nothing but thrills, and they've given him the adulation that he deserves. It's been an amazing career for Jeter. As we said, it's winding down. When we come back, Jeter thanks the fans in a letter. Next. have been with me for the past 20 years. Your grit fueled my will. Your history strengthened my resolve. Your scrutiny exposed my flaws. Your expectation was my inspiration. From my first at bat until my final out, you helped make me who I am. For that, I am forever grateful. Back here in the broadcast booth, that's David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay, and Ken Singleton will rejoin us in just a moment. This begins the final 8 games that Derek Jeter will ever be in the Yankees' home white pinstripes. You've known him from the very beginning. What's this going to be like for him?
Well, it's got to be difficult. I mean, for a guy who's always been, there's a game tomorrow kind of guy. There's a next game. Forget about yesterday. Think about tomorrow. Soon there's no tomorrow. So I think you're going to see some emotion for the first time from Derek. I mean, maybe not on the level from Mariano Rivera last year with the scene on the mound with Andy Pettitte and the hugs and the tears. But I do expect some emotion from Derek before this homestand's over.
You would have to think so. I mean, it's meant so much to him. He's been such a part of New York history, and now he's removing himself. So 11 more games overall and 8 here at Yankee Stadium, the first of those 8 tonight. A lot of Jeter fans are making their pilgrimage here to see their idol for the final time. Yankees, Blue Jays, lineups, first pitch baseball coming up next on Yes. Tri-State area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. By Henry and Me, watch Yankees Legends Come Alive. Available on DVD and digital download September 30th. And by Buick, visit BuickDealer.com for all summer sell-down offers. Well, they're honoring Derek Jeter's 2000 World Series MVP award on one of the bases here at the stadium. I'm sure it'll be like this for this entire 8-game homestand. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays starting lineup, which is presented by Chevrolet. Leading off the shortstop, Jose Reyes. Batting second, the right fielder, Jose Bautista. Edwin Encarnacion, the DH, will hit third. Adam Lind at first base cleans up. Danny Valencia, the third baseman, will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing second base, Munenori Kawasaki. Josh Tolley will catch. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing left field, Kevin Pillar. Anthony Gose is in center field, and he is going to bat ninth. Shane Green's on the mound for the Yankees. He's ready. Jose Reyes is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is swung on and fouled away, and we are underway.
When you look at the numbers from Shane Green, they will tell you he's done very well in a Yankee uniform, 5-3. He's coming off a start, 9 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings against the Baltimore Orioles.
Fouled away again, and there is Headley. He cannot hold on. Looked like it hit him in the glove, but he could not hold on right near the camera well.
Excellent try by Headley. He made a good catch down at Tropicana Field the other night. Very same type of play. Reaches in, can't hold on this time, and maintains his balance. Does not go into the camera well.
Outside to Reyes, 1-2. And the pitch. Grounded foul.
Let's check out the pitcher scout report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Well, he pitched pretty well in the minor leagues. He's pitched even better at the big league level. He has proved he belongs in the big leagues. And a slippery slider. You saw the 9 strikeouts we showed in the open against the Orioles. That's his best pitch. In his early minor league days, as this pitch is fouled off, he had control problems. He actually walked over 5 batters per innings. And he came back one year, cut that down to under 2, and then he was on his way to the big leagues.
And the 1-2. Fly ball down the right field line. Long run for Chris Young, but that's going to make the seats. Reyes up there cutting and slashing. Had a bad first half. He's had a better second half. The numbers are more representative of the player that he is, or certainly was. He won a batting title in his final year with the Mets. When his legs are right, he's about as good as any leadoff guy. The 1-2.
Mike, you called it right. He's up there cutting and slashing. Anything close, it will not pass. He's going to take a hack at it. You would think he doesn't get called out on strikes very often.
Grounded foul.
Well, one thing he's done is make Shane Green throw all of his pitches so he can show his teammates exactly what kind of stuff Green's got tonight. There was a changeup there as Green tried to go to his third best pitch to get Reyes out and just can't seem to find the right finish pitch.
Tony, I agree with you. I always felt my first at bat of the game was the most important, as far as I wanted to see everything the pitcher had that night, see as many pitches as I could, get deep into a count.
2-2. Fly ball, left center, run down by Gardner for the first out of the game. Let's check out the Yankee defense presented by Geico. You saw Gardner in left, so we'll start there. In center, it's Ellsbury. Over and right, Chris Young. In the infield, Headley, Jeter, Drew, and Teixeira. That's third to first. Francisco Cervelli is behind the plate. Shane Green's on the mound. Brian McCann, by the way, is the DH tonight. Here's Jose Bautista. 3 RBIs away from the magic 100. Every hitter looks for that, and he looks at a first pitch strike. Back-to-back in the Blue Jays order, Bautista and Encarnacion combined 64 home runs. There's a strike.
There's a good slider. You go back to 2010, nobody has hit more home runs than Jose Bautista. He's hit 184, 5 more than Miguel Cabrera.
Yankees baseball available in Spanish by hitting the SAP button on your remote. SAP is brought to you by Infinity. And the 2-2. Did he go? No, he did not.
First of all, I thought that was close to being a called third strike.
Jeff Nelson, the home plate umpire. We saw Laz Diaz at first, Scott Barry at second, Mark Carlson is the third base ump. 3-2. And Bautista walks. Well, let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 74 degrees, 53% humidity, hardly any wind, mostly clear skies, comfortable temperatures indeed.
Gorgeous day in the city today. Beautiful night as well. Usually when you get your second wind in September about this time as a pitcher, because the weather cools down and you got through the dog days of August, you feel like you get a little extra on your pitches this time of year.
A little more zip on the fastball.
You know, get your second wind. You see Shane Green's up to 96 miles an hour. You see there, that's a little early for the hat, I think. But
that's more like football gear, isn't it?
That's more for a fashion statement there than weather related.
The 0-1. 0-2.
Michael, last year we did a game in Baltimore, and Jeff Nelson was part of the crew. And I think he's one of the best umpires in the league, particularly ball strike. But that crew they had last year, I thought was the best crew in the game. And they broke it up because of all the new umpires, so they had to spread the good umpires around. All of them were good ball strike umpires. Jeff Nelson, Jim Joyce, Jim Wolf, and Ed Hitchcock were all on the same crew. And I thought that was the best crew in the league.
Well, they want parity in the sport.
I like how you said that. You got to split all the good umpires up.
Well, because they have so many rookie umpires in the league this year.
The 0-2. Hit sharply to Headley. He goes to second one. On to first, it's a double play. Boy, Headley has been flashing the leather. Can't complain about anything that he's done at third base. He starts a 5-4-3 double play. No runs, no hits, no errors, and because of this double play, nobody left on base. Blue Jays nothing, and the Yankees coming to bat. R.A. Dickey takes his turn against this Yankee starting lineup presented by Lexus. Center fielder Jacoby Ellsbury leads off. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, bats second. Batting third, the DH, Brian McCann. Mark Teixeira's at first base, cleaning up. The number 5 hitter, right fielder Chris Young. Brett Gardner's in left field. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh, playing third base, Chase Headley. Stephen Drew, the second baseman, will bat eighth, and batting ninth and catching, Francisco Cervelli.
There is the veteran, R.A. Dickey, on the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays. 39 years old now, and still doing wonders with that knuckleball that's kept him in the major leagues for a very long time. There are his numbers. He's gotten over to 500 because he's won 3 in a row. He's now 13-12, so he's trying to finish off on a winning note. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Honda dealers. He's on a roll. I mentioned the fact he's won 3 in a row. He's actually beaten the Yankees 3 in a row. And in that 3-game winning streak he currently has, he's gone 7 innings in each and every one of those games. 3 1/3 innings for 200. That would be his 4th straight 200-inning season. And only Hector Noesi and David Price have given up more home runs than R.A. Dickey. That's the bad news. The good news is it's 11 fewer than he gave up last year.
Jacoby Ellsbury takes the strike. Most of the Yankees did not have a good offensive road trip. And you could start with the guy at the top, Jacoby Ellsbury, just 4 hits and 29 at-bats.
Michael, this is not the type of guy you want to try and break out of a slump against, because he's got such an unusual pitch. It's hard to hit. And if it's breaking as sharply as that last one did, it's going to be a long night.
Well, there's no doubt that R.A. Dickey much better this year than he was last year, his first year in Toronto, and not an easy ballpark to pitch in for any style of a pitcher. The artificial surface, kind of a pinball machine ballpark up in Toronto. Stylistically, he's definitely different. He's kind of shelved that hard knuckleball that he used to throw. He used to throw it up almost in the low 80s, and he's kind of settled in for kind of an upper 70s, mid 70s knuckleball with more movement, and that's kind of the change from his Cy Young Award winning year with the Mets, when he kind of featured 2 different kinds of knuckleballs. See the classic fingertip knuckleball grip. Actually, as we've said before, not really gripped with the knuckles, more with the fingernails. Kind of a pushing motion that takes the spin off the ball, and then
ground ball to first. Lind flips to Dickey. One away, and here is Derek Jeter. Here's the defense of the Jays, presented by Geico, Pilar, Ghost, and Bautista. Left to right, infield, Valencia, Reyes, Kawasaki, and Lind. Third to first, Tolley behind the plate, and Dickey on the mound. I think the hand will get progressively more urgent and loud as these 8 games peel away. And a week from tonight will be his final game here in New York, Yankees against the Orioles. Jeter chops it in the hole. Backhanded by Reyes. He bobbled, throws to first, not in time. We'll see how they score that.
A little bit of a hesitation by Reyes as he was getting ready. He couldn't set himself. I think that was the deal. You can see Valencia can't get it. Looked like he didn't have a good grip. Had to re-grip, then throw. And Jeter beats it.
And they're going to give Jeter a hit. And Jeter has historically really struggled against Dickey. 2 for 17 coming to that at bat.
Like I said, he's a very unusual pitcher. I can't think of anybody else who throws a knuckleball now. David, do you think of anybody?
You know, it is remarkable. You would think there would be more knuckleball pitchers, considering the fact that Dickey has had so much success. And I think you'd probably see on the minor league level more guys giving it a shot. Maybe a career minor league pitcher trying to switch over and learn a new pitch.
I think it's a last resort sort of pitch. I don't know if Michael would agree that you're more of a conventional pitcher. Then all of a sudden, I can't get him out this way, so let's try this.
It shows you how hard it is to throw the knuckleball in the strike zone.
Well, the Orioles for a couple of years, they took a couple of players that they said, listen, your career's over. And they taught them a knuckleball, and I think they're still down in their system. They haven't elevated to a high level.
Well, that shows you the difficulty in learning this pitch. I mean, how did Phil Niekor win over 300 games throwing this pitch? Hall of Famer.
David, you tried everything out there on the mound. Did you try the knuckleball?
I did. I never could control it. And you see here, it looks like Dickey's that's more of a change-up grip. And he's been known, as you see, there's actual pretty good spin on that change-up, as opposed to the knuckleball that doesn't have spin. You know who had a really good one was David Wells. I used to play catch with him every day in the outfield before the games. And he had a really good one. Tried to talk him into throwing it during the game. Actually, during his perfect game, I challenged him to throw it.
There are some managers who don't like to have knuckleball pitchers on their team because a lot of bad things happen. Your running game, the catchers have problems. You can see the glove that Josh Tolley's wearing. Look at the size of that thing. It's like a garbage can cover.
Well, Josh Tolley has become R.A. Dickey's personal catcher because he has seen him back to the Mets days, and where Dickey goes, Tolley goes.
This is the 53rd consecutive start that Tolley's made with Dickey on the mound. So he is his personal catcher.
You see that style of glove, too. Michael's point is brought to bear right there with 53, but no reason to give a target.
There's a strike. Throw to second. Jeter is out. So a strike him out, throw him out double play as Jeter is caught stealing. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We played 1 inning here at the stadium. McCann looks at a called third strike, and then Derek just gets tagged out for the final out as we go to the second. By Toyota. Prius is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. And here's the question. Do you plan on going to Yankee Stadium to see Derek Jeter on his final regular season homestand? Beniquez, 24, of course, wouldn't miss that for anything. Grew up watching Jeter. Can't believe he's calling it a career. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius to keep the conversation going. That, by the way, the end of the bottom of the first was a rare base running error by Derek Jeter. I mean, you can't cut him slack. He thought it was ball 4 and did not go in hard. You can't be assuming that, and he got doubled up.
Well, yeah, you can kind of see Derek's taking off on the 3-2 pitch, and watch about halfway there. He's peeking back at home, and he just checks up, thinking it's ball 4. You can see the look on Derek's face. He's completely caught off guard. Very rare base running error by Derek, as he assumed that was called a ball and sort of just kind of gave himself up.
Now we go to the second inning. Adam Lind will lead it off against Shane Green. And a strike. A lot of real good hitters on the Blue Jays. You don't want Lind up with runners in scoring position. Got 344 hitter in those spots.
You saw his batting average, very good. The other numbers aren't so. He spent time on the disabled list this year with a broken foot. Of course, the Blue Jays are a very good hitting team. They're second in the league in home runs to Baltimore. But they've had some injuries to their lineup. Brett Laurie's gone for the year. And Encarnacion missed quite a spell with a leg injury. I had a chance to speak to John Gibbons in his office before the game today, and he was quite honest about his team. He said the injuries hurt. He said the pitchers have been pretty good. He said defensively we're not a good team. We make too many mistakes. And when you look at the statistics, any way you want to go defensively, they're in the bottom 10 in all baseball, whether it's zone rating or just fielding percentage, all that sort of thing.
This is not what Francisco Cervelli needs. He missed 14 games with migraine headaches. And the 2-2. We talked about the middle of August, and a lot of people said, well, the Yankees have to play out of their mind to get a wild card berth. And the sad part is that now, with hindsight being 20/20, they didn't have to play out of their mind. The teams that are leading in the wild card, Kansas City, in its last 10 games, has won 4 of them. Oakland, its last 10 games, they've won 3. Seattle 3-7. Cleveland 4-6. It was there for the taking. Just all you had to do was play a little above average. You didn't have to light the house on fire, and you'd be one of the wild card teams. As Lynn swings and misses. I mean, you take a look at those numbers, and the wild card winner might win with 88 games
and might limp into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Certainly Oakland in a free fall since the last several weeks, really going back to the Cespedes trade to Boston.
They lost again today. They lost to Texas 7-2.
There's Danny Valencia.
They're like a different team.
They were just almost anointed to go to the playoffs at the very least, and probably win the Western Division title. As we saw last night, the Angels won in dramatic fashion.
What a raucous celebration they had. Last 36 games, they have the worst record in baseball, 11-25. And you can see the average in the runs per game. The ERA's fine, but not scoring. There's a breaking ball strike to Valencia, 1-2.
Cespedes has really thrived in Boston as well.
Does he have 100 RBIs yet? You replace a guy. It's hard to replace a guy like that.
Seems to like hitting in Fenway Park.
Well, who didn't? Or doesn't? Cespedes 95 runs batted in. He's knocking on the door.
Oh, no. That's not good.
I thought you're supposed to celebrate after the game with the shower.
Oh, the poor guy.
Oh, my goodness.
Teixeira goes, no, that's not right. Valencia swings and misses.
What pitch was that, David?
Well, it's that slippery slider you talked about in your scouting report on the pitchers. But it is slippery. It's quick, and that is well above average. When you think about both velocity and late movement from Shane Green, that's the pitch that has really gotten much better. And I think that guy said no Bud Light. But yeah, get that man a beer.
You know what? What a great attitude about it. Doesn't seem that chapped.
He didn't get the ball, though.
Kawasaki takes outside.
But sort of Shane Green stuff, Kenny, I think has been so impressive. That's an improving pitch right there. That's his third pitch, that changeup. You see the radar gun light up at 88 miles an hour. This is the pitch that's improving as well. Is he starting to use it more? That's got good finish, tailing and sinking action down and away. That's the pitch that he could really use going into next year to get left-handed hitters out or to get the third time through the order. Is usually when a starting pitcher really needs that third pitch.
Followed it up with another one.
We've seen his stuff is above average, up to the mid-90s with good movement on his fastball. His slider we've seen in the upper 80s, 89, almost 90 miles an hour with a quick, slippery slider, as you said. And see the breakdown of his pitches right there in terms of selection. And
this is the one he's going to use more, the changeup.
Changeup is ever improving, and we've seen 3 or 4 really good ones tonight already.
Two and two.
When you talk about the Yankees farm system, it's been criticized heavily over the last couple of years. But when you think about this kid, Shane Green, and Dellin Betances, 2 huge bright spots for the Yankees this year. 2 young pitchers, power arms. I don't think you can say enough about what Dellin Betances has done this year, historically speaking, passing Mariano Rivera's all-time strikeout record in the franchise history for a reliever.
Looks like Kawasaki's in the survival mode up there. He's just trying to put it in play. Now you think of Green's last start. He's made 2 starts against Baltimore. One of the better hitting teams in the game. In 12 and 2/3 innings, struck out 18 batters. And beat them both times.
Well, they get his pitch count up today, 44 here in the second inning. Coming up, the 10th pitch alone to Kawasaki.
He's got Kawasaki talking to himself, though.
Now, Reyes started out the game with a 10th pitch at bat as well. So a couple of those types of at bats can double your pitch count here in the early going. Almost half his pitch count is now to 2 batters.
Ground ball to third. Headley. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Shane Green. We go to the bottom of the second. 0-0. Blue Jays Yankees on Yes. Inspired Medicine. Masahiro Tanaka on the DL since July 9th. Partial tear of the UCL of the right elbow. He had a 32-pitch bullpen session today, and I think everybody's looking forward to seeing him start on Sunday. I don't know what they really realistically expect to find out with him on the mound, but if he gets out on the mound and comes off the mound without pain, I guess that's a positive going into next season. Here's Mark Teixeira.
I think it would give the Yankees, if he comes out okay, it would give the Yankees confidence he can get through the rigors of a ball game. Now, how about repeatedly starting in a major league rotation? That might be a different situation. And David, you and I were talking about this before the game. In that regard, I think not only the Yankees but other teams are thinking about these 6-man rotations. I don't know how Michael thinks about it, or 6-man rotation. Michael, what do you think? I think we're getting closer, and that's for protection.
But I think there's going to be guys that don't want to be in it. I don't know if you're going to find enough guys that really, because what would that do, David, as Teixeira strike? It might take 6 starts away from you. I mean, you might be a 28-start pitcher.
Sure, you're going for quality over quantity. I know at the end of my career, I really benefited from extra rest, and I think I agree with Kenny. I've seen this trend coming towards a 6-man rotation. Brian Cashman and Joe Girardi talked about potentially the Yankees employing a 6-man rotation if Tanaka had come back sooner. We've seen Hiroki Kuroda thrive with extra rest. I think one thing a 6-man rotation would do would allow you to forget about pitch counts. If you're pitching once a week, then your day, then you wouldn't have to worry about the 100 pitch mark that's so prevalent now. You can go to 125 pitches easily if you're pitching once a week.
Fly ball, right field. Bautista there to retire young. But I wonder, where does it stop? Because, I mean, we thought when we went to a 5-man rotation that would be better. But when there were 4-men in a rotation, we didn't have nearly as many injuries. Yeah. So what is it?
Well, we probably did have as many injuries. You just didn't know about them because a lot of those pitchers were gone and out of the game.
There were no MRI tubes back in those days either. So
the careers were much shorter, too. You can talk about the guys who used to throw 300 innings and throw 200 pitches in a game. All those guys were out of the game in their early 30s, too, for the most part. So, it's a little bit of a misnomer when you talk about the good old days and all the guys. I used to throw all these pitches, and I used to pitch every second or third day.
It hurt. Now, my point is, if your pitcher is reluctant to go to a 6-man, I think one of the selling points would tell you probably stay healthier and pitch maybe 2 more years in the big leagues at whatever money you're making, which would be pretty darn good. Because you're throwing less pitches.
You're going for quality over quantity. Like Michael said, if you lose 6 starts a year, well, are those 28 starts of a higher quality? Say if you only got 28 starts out of Tanaka next year, would they be better than squeezing the extra 6 starts out of him? Or Kuroda, for that matter?
And remember, by doing that, you're going to lose 1 guy out of the bullpen.
That's true. But here's my next point. You go to 26-man rosters, where if all teams, most of the teams agree that we need this 6-man rotation, you might need an extra man.
Call it the Tommy John exemption, right?
Tommy John expansion of a roster.
I think you're going to see a lot more focus on solutions with the issue of Tommy John surgeries and all of them that we've seen over the last several years, especially the last couple years. I think of all the Tommy John surgeries, almost 25% are in that range, or from the last 2 or 3 years. So the numbers have certainly increased.
Gardner slices one to left field. On the run is Pilar, dives and makes the play. Very nice play by Kevin Pilar to take an extra base hit away from Brett Gardner. On the run, full body dive on the backhand, and holds on for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. We've played 2 here at the stadium. 0-0. R.A. Dickey likes what he's seeing. MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Get at bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com. That was some play by Pilar. Take an extra base hit away from Gardner. And let's take a look at it on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer.
Well, he made some tremendous catches in Toronto. Remember, Michael? He was diving all over the place. He was playing center field against the Yankees up at Rogers Center.
And Kenny, how often do we see a guy makes a great play and then bats second in the inning?
Oh, here we go.
You know, you see some guys that'll dive that don't really need to dive. Little eyewash action. No eyewash there.
Base hit up the middle by Josh Tolley. And there was one more real nice play also coming in. I'm curious, David, when somebody's own teammate did an eyewash dive, did you guys call him on it?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Especially the next day. Usually the next day during batting practice is when you kind of get on guys, maybe make fun of them. You'd see somebody like Tim Raines kind of fall down and dive, in the outfield during batting practice and point at the guy who did it the night before.
I think some of the funniest times in baseball are around the batting cage before games. You hear the funniest things. Players always get, other team comes out and they're razzing the players on your team and going back and forth.
Audi A3 scoreboard, 0-0.
It's good to see Rock Raines the other day at the Jeter event on Sunday, Derek Jeter Day. He was funny. You always have characters in the clubhouse. Yeah. You're right. That really kind of keep guys loose, get on you, let you know, Michael, when there is sort of a false hustle. That's what eyewash means. It's kind of false hustle. In my opinion, Tim Raines, a Hall of Famer, should get more consideration. The type of career he's had, remarkable numbers under the radar.
And I think one reason he's under the radar because he was like the #2 as far as being a leadoff hitter in baseball during his era. Rickey Henderson, of course, the all-time, great leadoff hitter. And Tim Raines was. If Rickey Henderson were not playing, I think Tim Raines would be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree. I mean, Rickey Henderson, his numbers speak for themselves. Tim Raines, power and speed.
Swing and a miss. Pilar down on strikes.
David Cohn had one of these sliders back in the day.
You can see he took a little off of this one. This is 81 miles an hour. It's probably what he calls his curveball, even though it looks similar to a slider, the difference being velocity. His slider's usually in the upper 80s. That one about 81 miles an hour. Little bit bigger break to it.
Here's Anthony Goes. 0-1. Grounded to second. Drew goes to second. Gets the force. Goes too quick for the return throw.
Speaking of the quickness of Goes, now he's been up and down the Blue Jays this year, but he's stolen 15 out of 20. And I would expect him to go here because you got Reyes up at the plate. And even if Goes is thrown out, Reyes gets the lead off next inning. That's always a premium. He will be on the go.
Yes.
Was leaning there.
Shane Green does a pretty good job of speeding up his delivery to home plate. He should give Cervelli a shot here.
Yep.
Well, no shot. As goes to second.
Almost gave Jose Reyes a shot. You got to get that kneecap out of the way. And Cervelli, you know, kind of caught sitting in the rocking chair, waiting for a pitch down and away, and the pitch was kind of heaved down and in. Little late reaction from Cervelli there.
Is that a wild pitch? Yeah. WP.
Ground ball, diving stop by Teixeira. Gets up, flips to green, and saves a run and ends the inning. Nice play by Mark Teixeira. No runs, a hit, no errors. One man left on base. A diving stop by the Yankee first baseman. Struggling offensively, not taking it out on the field, and saving a run. Is brought to you in part by New York Life. Today's New York Life agent of the day is Greg Genovese from the Long Island office by your Tri-State BMW Center, and by Blimpie. Try the new Hoboken Hero filled with savory Italian flavors. Blimpie, America's sub shop. We go to the bottom of the third as Headley fouls that one off.
How about it? He's batting right-handed against right-handed knuckleball.
And since getting hit on the chin, he now wears that guard when he bats right-handed. Bernie used to bat right-handed against knuckleballers.
Tim Wakefield, particularly at Fenway Park.
Yes.
You could pull it.
I think Bernie was a natural right-handed hitter.
Fly ball center field. Goes, puts it away. Audi A3 scoreboard, 0-0. You can see some of the remnants of him getting hit. It's amazing that Joe Madden said he got grazed. He got black and blues all over his neck and chin, and stitches on the cut that he suffered on the chin as well. Doesn't look like a grazing. Although, to his credit, Joe Madden kind of backed off that line and said, you know, I probably did not use the correct word.
Poor choice of words, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're right, Michael. Joe Madden did back off. One thing about Chase Headley, he can take a punch, huh? No glass jaw there. I mean, look at the black and blue. Very lucky that it wasn't shattered, his jaw, from that 96-mile-an-hour fastball from McGee, the lefty reliever in Tampa.
Well, it's an interesting decision for the Yankees because I think he has shown himself to be an outstanding third baseman. But is he going to hit enough for them to make the commitment and say, okay, you're going to come in and be a regular player for us? And then you also have to factor in, where's A-Rod going to play next year? Is he going to be a DH? Is he going to be the third baseman? Is he going to be healthy enough to play? The 0-2, grounded to first. Lind to Dickey, 2 away.
Do you think that Headley's capable of having a year like he had in San Diego when he drove in 115 runs?
I know that's everyone's hope, but
yeah,
that almost looks like the outlier.
Yeah.
You know, there's no doubt he's made a great impression here. Not only defensively, he's had some clutch hits, Headley that is, and kind of showed himself to be a leader in the clubhouse in some of the meetings as well. I think the only question, obviously, is his history of back issues.
He also gives them some maneuverability. He could back up to Scher at first base if Scher's not healthy next year, and third base, obviously, his position. He could play all around, almost like Martin Prado does.
He seems to like New York, too. He's been impressed himself, saying that he never would have known what it was like to play here and never considered New York a potential place to land but after having played here, really changed his mind. As usually is what happens here, Kenny, when you play in New York.
Cervelli, 4 for 5 lifetime against Dickey. 2 of the 4 have left the park. And that answers the questions. Why make a trade for a guy who's going to be a free agent? Well, you're almost selling yourself. It's like recruiting somebody.
You know, but when you think of San Diego and New York, they're I wouldn't say completely on the opposite end of the spectrum. But, wow. 5 for 6. Wow. Cervelli not knuckling under. Solid single to center field. Here it comes.
You see a lot of movement on that knuckleball, and Cervelli all over it. It wasn't like it was a hanger. It was moving down and away. Cervelli went out and covered it.
You don't see many palm trees in New York. That's what I'm saying. San Diego, they're everywhere.
You don't see many $10 million a year contracts in San Diego either.
Yeah, it's a selling point for New York, isn't it?
Fouled away by Ellsbury.
There's no doubt Headley's made a great impression on the New York fans, and I think it's worked both ways. He's been impressed here. He really likes playing here. I think the same could be said for Brandon McCarthy as well. If you're looking at 2 guys that came over in midseason trades that have been on audition.
Well, Headley's had some big walk-off hits. Big ones.
Some of the late maneuvers that Brian Cashman and his staff made. Headley's been great. McCarthy's been great. Prado is a real keeper.
Well, anytime there's a man on base, the pressure is really on a catcher with a knuckleball pitcher on the mound. Josh totally behind the plate tonight, and we talked about that big glove that he uses, and it goes back to the days of the mid-50s when Hoyt Wilhelm was pitching for Baltimore. The Orioles came to Baltimore in '54, and Gus Triandos was their all-star catcher. He was the star of the team, but he had to catch Hoyt Wilhelm. That was part of being the star. In fact, Triandos, such a star in Baltimore, there's a street named after him in one of the suburbs. Triandos Drive. And it was Paul Richards, who was the manager of those early Oriole teams, who helped develop the glove. And they had to get the okay from the league because it was, outsized. And the league said okay. And that's what Triandos would use anytime he had to catch Hoyt Wilhelm, who's in the Hall of Fame.
That glove it's a cross between a first baseman's mitt and a highlight Cessna.
The reason that he's holding that glove down like that, because you don't need to give a target with a knuckleball pitcher. What he's trying to do is relax his hand and then react to the movement on the knuckleball at the last minute. That's actually a good style to use for a catcher trying to catch somebody like Dickey, whose ball moves all over the place. Very unpredictable. So you relax the glove hand, wait for the pitch, and then react to the pitch.
Popped up. Reyes is there and makes the play for the final out of the third. No runs to hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We've played 3 at the stadium. Yankees and the Blue Jays scoreless. 866-NY Quiz for free help today. On June 3rd, 1995, Derek Jeter recorded his first hit at Yankee Stadium, an RBI double. Who did he drive in? You got me.
Wow.
And you were there, David, and so was I. Were you?
Actually,
you weren't
no,
there
that
yet.
was right before
you were
I came.
That's
yes.
right, July, right?
Yes. At that point, on June 3rd, I think Mariano Rivera was in the starting rotation.
So the onus is on Michael to get this one.
Nah, I'm out. I really barely remember last night's game, Kenny. Our producer, Troy Benjamin, just gave hints. Popular Yankee, handsome guy. Take it from there, everybody. Pitch to Jose Bautista is a strike. Lincoln scoreboard, 0-0. Three infielders on the left side. And that's where he hits it. And grabbed there by Stephen Drew. One away. He felt comfortable because he's a shortstop by trade, and that's right where he usually used to play.
Yeah, he kind of showed you the shortstop's arm, too, didn't he? Gets down on one knee, gets up quickly. Bautista hits this one pretty hard. Can't beat it. Ooh, good. Done.
The quick first step to react. Talk about trying to assess range. A lot of defensive metrics out there. Trying to figure out who's got the best range. It really comes down to the read off the bat, your quick first step, and Drew's got it.
Now he's shifted even more with Encarnacion. They think he's going to pull even more than Bautista. Let's see if they have him figured out. Look out. These two guys, a pretty good 1-2 punch. Wouldn't Michael say 64 home runs between them, 32 apiece? Encarnacion missed a month.
You can really see a similarity between Bautista and Encarnacion in terms of their batting style. Up on the dish a little bit. You see a little bit of an open stance. That back foot's pretty close to home plate.
Chop to third. Headley comes in. 2 down. Tomorrow on Yes, the captain's final homestand continues as the Yankees battle the Blue Jays here in the Bronx. Pre-game coverage starts tomorrow at 6. Then Saturday's coverage kicks off at 3:30 and come back Sunday afternoon for the series finale. It's all right here on Yes. Everybody here at Yes and everybody with the Yankees as well, send out our heartfelt condolences to Carlos Beltran and his family. His wife suffered a miscarriage yesterday. Carlos was with her. Sent out a very emotional Facebook message as well. And our thoughts are with the Beltran family.
Most definitely.
Adam Lynn takes outside, 1-0. And Carlo has rejoined the team. Count 2-0. Lynn struck out in the second inning. High fly ball, left center. Ellsbury's there to make the play for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the fourth here at the stadium. Toronto nothing and New York nothing on Yes. The New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. On June 3rd, 1995, Derek Jeter recorded his first hit at Yankee Stadium. It was an RBI double. Who did he drive in? Popular Yankee. Our producer Troy Benjamin said good-looking guy. Let's see who it is.
Cliff Johnson.
Mike Gallego.
Randy Velarde. Cliff and Mike both. Thank you, guys.
Popular, good-looking. You know, I know. Got fooled.
Derek Jeter took some pressure off himself. You see the Lincoln scoreboard, 0-0. When he got that hit yesterday, breaking 0 for 28. You got the pressure of winding down your career, and everybody's eyes are going to be on you. And the more that that streak built up, the more pressure was going to be. So he had an infield single in the first inning.
Tried to bunt, didn't he? Was that last night or the night before?
He did sacrifice. Yep. And the crowd was so desperate in St. Pete to cheer for him that when he got down the bunt, they gave him a standing ovation. He had really been struggling.
Showed a good sense of humor afterwards, though. He said, hey, I'm hot. I'm 1 for 2 now. So.
The 2-1. 2-2.
When you're hitting, you have to have positive thoughts. Here's the knuckleball. Oh, man, look at that thing move.
Like Josh Tolley closed his eyes.
Most catchers do, actually.
That one is lined to left center field. Pilar dives and makes another nice play.
He can't catch a ball standing up. I'm telling you right now. The fans are booing him. Took a hit away from Derek Jeter.
A human highlight reel this guy is. That had double written all over it, and it's off the grass. Every dive he makes is legitimate.
Take another look on the Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Gonna have to go back and replace the divot.
Yeah, these ones feel a little easier, I think, here on the natural grass of Yankee Stadium as opposed to the turf up in Toronto.
One count. They will flip-flop Valencia and Reyes. So with that to out, Dickey has his 4th straight 200-inning season. And he joins Felix Hernandez, James Shields, and Madison Bumgarner as the only pitchers to do that over the last 4 years. 5 others are within striking distance: Burley, Verlander, Hamels, Kershaw, and Kuroda. 2-2. Fly ball, right center. Anthony goes, puts it away. And the Yankee offense has struggled so much. This note on our Elias sheet really jumped out at me. The Yankees scored only 10 runs on their just completed 7-game road trip. Get this. That's the fewest runs the Yankees have ever scored on a road trip of more than 5 games in their history. And on the trip, they had an overall batting average of 175. And 095, 4 for 42 with runners in scoring position. That's why it's tough to win games.
Yeah. A lot of pressure on the pitchers. Teixeira batting right-handed this time against R.A. Dickey.
Mark Teixeira batting right-handed against Dickey. Struck out in the 2nd inning. He's really laboring. Mark is 3 for 31. And that one is driven into left center field. Anthony goes back and makes the play on the warning track for the final out of the inning. A couple of nice plays by Kevin Pillar. That was in the 2nd, robbing Brett Gardner. And this one in the 4th, robbing Derek Jeter. As the Yankees and the Blue Jays have the identical record coming in, and I don't know if there's any awards for finishing second, but I'm sure the Yankees would like to finish behind the Baltimore Orioles. The Blue Jays had moved ahead of them. It looked like the Tampa Bay Rays were gaining some ground. That win yesterday might have pushed them aside, but Pyrrhic victory, I guess.
Yeah, the Blue Jays come in having lost 4 straight. They just got swept in Baltimore.
Both teams 77 and 74. 4 shutout innings for Shane Green. And here's Danny Valencia. I was looking at some of the free agents that will be available next year, and some teams will try to improve by diving into the free agent market. And, you know, the big marquee names, Max Scherzer, James Shields, John Lester. And I'm just wondering, and wanted to throw it out there, is it worth it to spend the money on pitching where it seems like a lot of guys can turn Shane Green into pretty good pitchers? Offense doesn't exist anymore. So why spend all that money on high-end pitching when you could develop it and it doesn't have to be Nolan Ryan and still be an effective guy?
Oh, maybe you think those type of pitchers will really put you over the top. If they pitch the way they have in the past and remain injury-free, these are big-time winners. That's why they make the big-time money.
Fly ball right field. Young is there.
But isn't the premium more on offense now to find some hitters?
But are they out there? I mean, Melky Cabrera is going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
Nelson Cruz, who certainly has had a great season with the Orioles.
If he gets away from them, yeah.
It's just interesting because, you know, you look at the Yankees and they go, well, the Yankees are in this situation because of their injuries. Well, not really. Their injuries were to their pitching staff. I don't think you could blame their pitching staff for where they are.
No, not at all. And that's probably one of the biggest surprises from the Yankees, as Michael said, all the injuries to the pitching staff, and they've really been able to shore it up.
Which leads you to believe that coming into the next spring, if certain pitchers come back healthy, Yankees, you never have enough pitching, right?
No doubt about it.
Well, you'll have certain guys returning next year at maybe different times of the year.
Well, I remember during the spring training special, David said he felt that team should have 7 starting pitchers because you're going to use 7.
At least. I mean, on average, you know, major league teams actually the 6th best pitcher, you know, whether that guy was in AAA to start the year or not, but the 6th best starter in the major leagues last year got the equivalent of a full season, 30 starts. And I think that's probably increased this year throughout the league. So without a doubt, your second 5-man rotation, your B rotation, 6 through 10, has become paramount in every organization throughout both leagues. So,
and David, how does Michael remember you said that in the spring training special?
I remember everything Cone says. Drew goes to the glove side to retire Kawasaki.
The one exception with a premium pitcher, say like a John Lester or Max Scherzer or whoever is going to be on the free agent market, is postseason play. You still need those power pitchers to win it all in a short series. 7-game series, or if you're trying to win it all, trying to win a World Series, you still need those shutdown starters to do it.
That's been true for years.
Now, in a regular season, obviously, the premium's back on hitting. It's hard to find hitters now that it is pitchers.
And that was the conundrum with the A's. They felt they had enough to get to the postseason, but those deals would push them forward to a World Series. But they completely decimated their offense, so they might not even make the postseason.
No doubt about it. The best laid plans, you're right, Michael, but that was why the trade was made for John Lester. And Billy Beane thought, we're going to go for it all. We need Lester to win the World Series. Still may work out.
Yep, they're still in it. If the season ended right now, they're one of the wild card teams. And we mentioned earlier they lost today 7-2 to Texas.
I think that's one thing that Bob Melvin has to remind his team, as poorly as they've played, if the playoffs started today, we're in it. So just things might turn around in these last 10, 11 games.
Swing and a miss. Totally down on strikes. 9 in a row retired by Shane Green. We're halfway through. 0-0 here on Yes. stick around for a new episode of Yankees Magazine and get a full recap of Derek Jeter Day in the Bronx, plus a preview of what we can expect from the captain's final home game. Catch Yankees Magazine tonight after the postgame, only on Yes. That's a nice perch. Chris Young swings and misses. Diggy likes to work quickly. There's no sign to be gotten.
I always felt when a knuckleball pitcher's got an 0-2 count on you, the real hard one's coming. They really try and put something on this one. That was a little harder. Facing Charlie Huff and Phil Niekro over the years.
Strike three. Young knew it.
I heard a story about Mickey Rivers years ago that Mickey was playing against I guess it was Texas. Charlie Huff was with Texas, and he threw him 3 knuckleballs and right down the middle, and Mickey 3 pitches lays back in the dugout. He said, "Why didn't you swing?" I just like to watch it go by.
Here's Brett Gardner, robbed of an extra base hit. A diving play by Kevin Pillar in left field. He has not been too lucky of late. Yesterday, with the bases loaded, hit a long drive to right field, and Will Myers made a really great play, taking an extra base hit away from him. He did get a sac fly, and the other time he just lost a double.
Well, you think of all the knuckleball pitchers over the years. Now, I didn't hit against Wade Wilhelm, but I did hit against Phil Niekro and Charlie Huff, both outstanding knuckleball pitchers. Won a 300-game winner. I think Charlie Huff won 200 games, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Niekro's got to be at the top of the list.
Yeah, because of the number of games he won.
R.A. Dickey's up there, too, even though he's obviously not done with his career by a long shot, but he's a Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah.
Very few knuckleball pitchers can say that.
Tim Wakefield, of course, was very good a number of years.
Tim Wakefield, an outstanding career.
Huff won 216 games. The Dodgers, Texas, and I think he pitched for the Marlins for a while, too.
Fly ball, right center. Anthony goes for the second out.
And despite the fact that he won 216 games, he broke even. He lost 216 games.
Matter of fact, it's not only very few. I think R.A. Dickey might be the only knuckleball pitcher to ever win a Cy Young. So it's not very few. It's none. He's the only one.
And although he won the Cy Young Award, you got to give the Mets credit for having the guts to trade a Cy Young Award winner, and a trade that could really be a great trade for them. They love Travis d'Arnaud, and their top pitching prospect in the minor leagues is Noah Syndergaard. That's a pretty good return.
d'Arnaud is really coming on in the second half.
Ever since they sent him down.
I think one thing you have to remember about Dickey, though, he has given up a lot of home runs this year. Not as many as last year, but he's still third in the league. So every once in a while, one of those knuckleballs doesn't really move around that much, kind of stays in the same area, and that's the one you got to jump it.
Yeah, and the home ballpark he pitches in as well.
Yeah.
Kind of a home run park. Definitely an offensive park in Toronto.
You're right. He does work quickly. And tomorrow night, the Yankees facing Mark Burley. Yeah, he works even quicker.
So you can go ahead and make dinner plans, Kenny.
Is it a night game tomorrow?
Yeah. We'll be done by 9. 3-2. And Headley works a 2-out walk. Now, we talked about the acquisitions that the Yankees made mid-season that really played out well. This is one that I mean, so many people scratching their head. Stephen Drew can do everything with a glove. He is as advertised, but has never come around offensively. And a lot of people attribute it to the fact he missed the whole spring training. But you think by now that would have been worked out. As he lines that one down the right field line, it is a base hit. It's going to go to the wall. Chase Headley is rounded third. Here he comes. They're sending him home. The throw is not in time. And Stephen Drew is at third with an RBI, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
The Yankees have a 1-0 lead, but I think the Blue Jays actually helped them out a bit on this play. Now there's 2 outs. Headley's off with the crack of the bat. There's that knuckleball. Stays in one place. This is going to be a double to drive in a run. But watch the relay play here. Bautista fires it over the first guy. The second guy is Lind, and he throws the ball wide. And we talked about the Blue Jays not being the best defensive club. This is one of the reasons why. You know, they can make the routine play, but we saw mess up a relay play in Toronto as well. And that play gives the Yankees the lead. You hit the first guy can get it home faster than Adam Lind.
Good job by Rob Thompson pushing the system there.
With 2 outs.
Absolutely had to send Headley there, and he did. 5th inning. Both pitchers are pitching very well. There's no hesitation. Headley's got to be sent. Rob Thompson, the third base coach, does not hesitate.
I'm telling you, if he hits Kawasaki with the first throw, they might hold him.
Now it is line to right field, coming on Bautista, and he makes the play to retire Cervelli. But the Yankees take the lead. 1 run on 1 hit, 1 man left. We go to the 6th. It's 1-0 Yankees.
Guests in attendance will receive a pair of Yankee texting gloves courtesy of Starter. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankee Clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849.
He's ready to take a couple hacks. Popcorn would be good right now. 1-0 as we go to the 6th inning. Shane Green pitching another good game. Certainly making his case, consider me, for the rotation next year. Here's Kevin Pillar. Pillar, Ghost, and Reyes. 8-9-1 against the Yankee rookie right-hander. He certainly has gotten his pitch count under control after, I think it was 44 pitches with 2 outs in the 2nd inning. He's at 79 right now. He had 46 in the first 2 innings, and then, hey, that 4th inning helps. High fly ball, left field. Gardner puts it away. 1 down. And here's Anthony Gose.
Gose is getting the majority of the starts in center field as the Blue Jays wind down their season. And of course, Colby Rasmus had been the center fielder the last few years. But Rasmus is going to be a free agent at the end of the year. So the Blue Jays are getting a look-see at Gose in center, who has been up in the big leagues from time to time, back and forth. There's John Gibbons. Got to remember, the Blue Jays were leading the division in the early going in the season. Really rolling along.
Yeah, it really looked like they were going to take control of the division in the first half. The big trade they made with Miami kind of looked like it was going to make sense in the second season. Last year, obviously a lot of injuries did not work out for the Blue Jays.
Broken back, ground ball. Foul. It was a roller coaster season the guys are talking about. Let's see, 38-24 through June 6th. Then that bad stretch, followed by 11-2, and that's what they've done since August 1st.
Now, the Orioles actually tied the Jays on July 3rd, and that 25-7 May through June, and that coincides with Encarnacion being so hot. He hit 17 home runs in May. And once Encarnacion was injured and Brett Laurie went out, things sort of changed. So, good pitch.
You know, one signing that they made that made sense for them, and they were criticized for it, was signing Cabrera. Especially coming off the PED suspension that he had, and they signed him to a 2-year, $16 million deal. Why are you doing that? Well, he was having a real good year this year, and they got hurt. He's out for the remainder of the season. And you wonder, will they try to retain him? He might be able to command a pretty decent price on the open market.
Yeah, he broke a finger diving back into a bag on a pickoff attempt. And left as a 300 hitter.
The 0-1. Past a diving Teixeira and past Drew into right field. A base hit for Reyes.
Reyes couldn't sneak one by Teixeira last time up, but this time he does. But this time there's nobody in scoring position as there was the last time up. Teixeira with a headlong dive. The same thing for Drew. That ball somehow gets into the outfield.
And that'll bring up Jose Bautista. Let's take a look at the Jeep hitter scouting report.
Yeah, he's second in the league in on-base percentage to Victor Martinez of the Detroit Tigers. As Michael mentioned, 3 more runs batted in. It'll be the 3rd time in his career he's driven in 100 runs. And he's also second in walks in the league to Carlos Santana of the Cleveland Indians. So Bautista having another strong season. I'm always big on OBP.
You know me.
Yeah.
The 0-1 is not made. popped up. Teixeira is there, and that'll do it. Strong 6 for Shane Green. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 1-0 Yankees. Let's see what it is. September 18, 2013, Mariano Rivera records his 652nd and final save in a 4-3 win over the Blue Jays. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Ellsbury swings at the first pitch. Diving stop by Lind. Flips to Dickey. 1 pitch, 1 out. We talked a little bit about this during the open, David. When Mariano made his final appearance, and Derek will come up here, when they took him out, Derek and Andy, he started to weep on the mound. Derek is very stoic. He really doesn't show. He'd be a great poker player, I'm sure. Do you think we'll see that kind of emotion at all next Thursday?
I don't know if he'll reach that level that we saw from Mariano actually during the game, getting taken out of the game.
Right.
Very unusual circumstances with his former teammates coming to make the move on the mound, but I do anticipate Derek showing some emotion. To what level remains to be seen.
Derek had an infield hit in the hole at short in the first, and then robbed of an extra base hit when the hit went into the gap, but Pilar made a nice diving stab.
I think it's going to be emotional for everybody.
You know, the thing about Derek is this is really perceived as the end of an era. You know, the core 4, the Yankee dynasty years going back to the mid-90s, and the 2009 championship year, the first year at this stadium. It really is sort of the end of a generation. So it's not just Derek Jeter, and obviously his great Hall of Fame career. Go right to Monument Park, go right to Cooperstown, without a doubt, no doubters. But it's much more than that.
I think number one with Derek, and I'm pretty sure this is still true, his personal winning percentage is still the best of any after 20 years.
That one is drilled deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. Home run, Derek Jeter. Yankees lead 2-0. McCann grounds one to Reyes for the second out.
That's his first home run at home this year.
Fourth on the season.
There's that knuckleball, stays in one spot.
And there's a strike to Mark Teixeira. He's looked lost for the better part of a month.
I actually think Dickey tries to sneak a fastball
that was
by
not a knuckleball, yeah.
82 miles an hour, tried to sneak a piece of cheese by him, and Jeter said thank you very much and cut him off at the pass.
Yep, that was not a knuckleball.
Well, the first game of his final homestand, and he has 2 hits, one of them a home run. First home run here in the Bronx. He has a habit of writing improbable scripts.
That was a no-doubter, too.
Let's see, 2 fingers close together. That is the spin of a fastball. That ends up middle in and about belt high.
Teixeira loops one to left field, and that is going to dunk in for a base hit.
That was all set for another Pilar dive out there.
Well, Mark will take it the way things have been going for him.
I've never heard of a hitter giving one back.
Chris Young takes outside. Hit sharply, knocked down there by Reyes, flips to second to get the force to end the inning. Well, as his career winds down to a precious few games, Derek Jeter still has the ability to excite. He goes deep here in the 6th inning for his 4th home run of the year, his first one of the Bronx all season, and it's 2-0 Yanks. Villa and Frank Lampard as they lead New York City FC into action. Season tickets to the inaugural campaign of New York City FC Soccer are available at nycfc.com or by calling 855-77-NYC-FC. Well, we go to the 7th inning. Derek Jeter just homered to double the Yankee lead. It is 2-0. Cadillac scoreboard 2-5-0 Yanks, 0-2-0 for Toronto. And there's a strike to Encarnacion. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 in the Blue Jays order. 3 infielders on the left side. The 0-1. 1-1. Out of the way.
The Yankees as a franchise are coming up on a milestone. That home run by Derek Jeter was number 14,997 for the Yankees. No other team in Major League history has hit 14,000. So they're coming up on 15,000. Makes you wonder who's going to hit the magic number 15,000.
And the count 2-2.
They better hurry up before the season's over. Home runs have been a real commodity this year for the Yankees.
Well, they've hit more at home, so. The Yankees have been around since 1903. Encarnacion's career turned around a couple of years ago. He worked in the offseason with a hitting coach that actually helped out Robinson Cano in the Dominican Republic. And one thing he had Encarnacion do, before he used to let go with the top hand when he swung and had that helicopter type swing. Now he keeps both hands on the bat. And he really became a force after he started doing that.
So Encarnacion walks. Fans, you can now tweet at Yes Network your best fan photo using hashtag YesFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during the game. Brought to you by AT&T. Here's Adam Lynn. Dellin Betances heating up. And Cervelli will go out to talk with Green. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Fly ball left center field. Ellsbury's there to make the play for the first out. In even 100 pitches for Shane Green as he's looking to pick up his 6th victory of the year. He's 5-3.
Good job by Green and Cervelli there to pitch into the big part of the park with Lean up there, 2-run lead, short porch and right. Make sure that you pitch away to Death Valley here at Yankee Stadium.
Twice he's flied, last 2 times up he's flied out to Ellsbury and left center.
Especially later in the games. Catfish Hunter was great at that at the old Yankee Stadium. Up and away, pitch to the big part of the park here. 2-run lead. We have another opportunity here with Colby Rasmus going to be a pinch hitter here, and he's left-handed batter with some pop. Larry Rothschild's going to come out and talk about that exact thing. If you're going to come inside in this situation, make sure you miss in off the plate. Pitch to the big part of the ballpark.
Yeah, Rasmus does have some power. He has 18 home runs, but he is a high strikeout hitter.
At one point, Rasmus looked like he was going to be a long-term solution in center field for Toronto, and over the last 6 weeks has lost his job. Now relegated to pinch hitting duty.
Swing and a miss. They kept the ball away.
Yeah, Rasmus has struck out 123 times. He's been to the plate 345. But the thing about the 120, he's not even in the top 10 in the league in striking out.
Oh, and 2. 3 infielders on the right side for the Yankees. Only Jeter on the left side.
Yeah, to get into top 10, you have to have struck out at least 135 times. And that's Nelson Cruz of Baltimore. And you might not believe who's on top. Mike Trout has struck out the most. So when he puts the ball in play, he's really dangerous.
The 0-2. Tell you one thing, though, Kenny, if you gave Rasmus a full complement of at-bats, he'd be in the top 5. 103 pitches for Shane Green. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Rasmus down on strikes.
Strikeout number 6 for Shane Green. Over the top, and Rasmus heading back to the bench.
Here's Munenori Kawasaki. Has a base hit to right field. Encarnacion will stop at second. Chris Young fires the ball in. So a single for Kawasaki, and that's going to do it for Shane Green. And we will get a chance to see Dellin Betances, another rookie, relieving a rookie who did another good job in his start for the Yanks. by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2014 models. Beautiful day in New York City. Nice night as well. And here at Yankee Stadium, Joe Girardi makes the Verizon call to the bullpen. And that call brings in Dellin Betances. Yesterday, in the Yankees' victory over the Rays, he struck out 2 in the 8th inning, giving him 132 on the season, breaking a tie with Mariano for the most strikeouts by a Yankee reliever in one season. Betances first, Mariano second, and Goose Gossett third. Diana Navarro is going to pinch hit for Josh Tolley. And Shane Green now a spectator. Runners on base his responsibility.
So Navarro, the #1 catcher, has really had a pretty good year for these Toronto Blue Jays. He's been nicked up a bit of late, and actually was checked out for concussion syndrome, but didn't sustain a concussion. So just a night off. Josh Tolley, of course, as we mentioned, catches R.A. Dickey.
I wonder if this means that Dickey's night is done no matter what.
There's somebody warming up in the bullpen. Looks like Brett Cecil. Yeah, that's him.
Bronx Chamber of Commerce today named Dellin Betances New York Yankee Player of the Year. And Dellin is a native of New York City. High fly ball, right field. Chris Young is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the 7th. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. It's the Yankees 2 and the Blue Jays nothing. And we'll hear from you guys a little bit later on, along with Meredith Morakovitz. Time now for the game summary, brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 2-5-0 for the Yanks, 0-3-0 for the Blue Jays. Jeter, a solo home run, his first Yankee Stadium home run this year, 4th overall. Green lasted 6 2/3. You heard the guys talking about him. And R.A. Dickey lasted 6 innings. He's done 5 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. And a couple changes for the Jays. Steve Tollison takes over at third base. New catcher is Deanna Navarro. And the new pitcher is Brett Cecil.
Another solid year for Brett Cecil this year. 71 strikeouts in just 49 2/3 innings.
Gardner shows bunt, takes a strike.
Seems he has found his niche in the bullpen after being a starter for a number of years with the Blue Jays.
Cadillac scoreboard has the Yankees up 2-0. First game of a 4-game set. Chop back to Cecil. 1 away here in the 7th. Let's go back to the studio. Bob Lorenz has more to say. Thank you, Bob. Here, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th, and Chase Headley comes up against Brett Cecil.
In Pittsburgh, they call it a Marte Parte.
Count 1-1.
Pittsburgh's hanging in there. I mean, that National League wild card race is still kind of up for grabs.
Yeah.
If you look at it, this one could go down to the wire.
The wild card has been doing its job, and especially when they added that second one. I mean, that keeps a lot of teams in it.
Sean Kelly up for the Yanks. Kind of thought that Betances would pitch the 8th inning, but we'll see what Girardi's thinking. One, 2. Line to left center. Pilar dives. Can't make this play. It gets by him. Backing up his ghost as Headley has a single.
Finally got one in front of him. Just missed it.
Not by much.
No, not by much. Pilar almost with his 3rd diving catch of the night, and maybe his 5th against the Yankees this year.
The look on his face, even he's surprised he didn't get it.
That's when you have to have faith in the outfielder next to you. He's going to back you up.
There's Stephen Drew. Fouls it back. Drew with an RBI double down the right field line in the 5th inning, scoring Headley. That's the Yankees' first run. Grounded through for a base hit. Headley stops at second. Drew with his 2nd hit. He had come into this game 3 for his last 41. And now tonight he's 2 for 3. So first and second, one man out. Yankees trying to build on a 2-0 lead, and Francisco Cervelli is at the plate.
Kind of get the sense that Stephen Drew's fighting for his life. You know, big night for him. 2 for 3, fighting for some playing time down the stretch here.
Cervelli's hit the ball well twice tonight.
Overall solid year from Cervelli. Good numbers for a backup catcher.
Hammered into left center, but right there is Ghost. He'll make the play as the runners retreat. Sunday, don't miss a new WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show as Joe looks ahead to the Yankees' final week of the regular season, including his thoughts on Derek Jeter's last games in the Bronx. It's a new Joe Girardi Show, Sunday at 5, only on Yes. A trip for Pete Walker, Blue Jays pitching coach, and Brandon Morrow heating up. Here's Ellsbury. Doesn't really struggle against lefties. 295.
Yankees now officially in the tack-on portion of the game. Got the lead. Cash in on some insurance. Good pitch.
Ellsbury's always been good in this situation. 2 outs, runners in scoring position for his career. 301 hitter.
Two and two.
One thing the Yankees have found out this year, Kenny, is that Ellsbury's probably better off at the leadoff hole. With obvious injuries they've had, they had to force him to try to bat third in this batting order, and I think they've kind of finally found the answer, that he's the leadoff guy.
As Ellsbury swings and misses, now 0 for 4 tonight. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left on base. We go to the 8th inning. It is 2-0 Yankees. those were the thrilling moments of the game, brought to you by Pepsi. So Dellin Betances came on just to get that final out of the 7th. Young pitcher, rookie year, I guess trying to keep some rein in on his innings pitched and pitches thrown. So they go to Sean Kelly now to pitch the 8th. And Pilar fouls it back. '57th game for Kelly.
Tell you what, the Yankee bullpenners, they can strike some people out. Just about everybody. More strikeouts than innings pitched. Monday scoreboard, 2-0 Yankees lead here in the top of the 8th.
Popped up. You hear Mark Teixeira up here screaming he's got it, and he did. One away. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Toyota. The world's best-selling hybrid is the official hybrid of the New York Yankees. Prius, the hybrid. Billy Crystal here at the game. Anthony Gose. 1-0. That one got the home plate umpire Jeff Nelson. One. Strike 1-2. What was that pitch, David?
Just a high slider. Kelly's got a good slider. You can see this one kind of got slider spin, and he got the call. Very unusual to get a slider that high called a strike.
And also to get it back.
That too, as well. We saw Dellin Betances come in the last inning and get the one out to end the inning. And obviously with his workload this year, his first year of really full-time relieving, leading the league with innings pitched.
This was a quality pitch for a call, third strike. Everything had been away, and he sneaks that fastball over the inside corner for call, strike 3. You get a hitter leaning, he's thinking you're going back out there. All of a sudden you're throwing right underneath his hands, and he's taking that well-known walk.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Got plenty of plate, and it was high enough. Dellin Betances now with 88 innings in relief, which leads all of Major League Baseball, and Kelly coming on here looking pretty sharp so far.
Jose Reyes serves one into left field. It's a base hit. Reyes 2 for 4 as he keeps the inning alive. This October, get ready for the return of Nets on Yes. Led by Darren Williams, Brooke Lopez, and Joe Johnson, Brooklyn's Big Three is back and ready to contend in the Eastern Conference. This NBA season, when you think Nets, you gotta think Yes. October 19th and 20th, 2 preseason games on Yes. And Nets opening night of the regular season is October 29th.
Wow.
2-0 Yankees over the Blue Jays. Here is Jose Bautista. He's the tying run in the batter's box, and there's a strike.
You never feel very comfortable if you're Joe Girardi or anybody in that Yankees dugout, as you see Robertson's going to get hot right now because of these two next batters, Bautista and Encarnacion, in only a 2-run game.
Man.
Because of swings like that.
He thought he had this one. High fastball, fouled it back. He wasn't happy with the result.
And Kelly with a little walk off the mound and regrouping himself.
Deep drive, left field. Gardner back on the track, at the wall. See ya, tie game. They got away with one. He did not get away with another.
Number 33 on the season for Bautista.
Let's go pitch by pitch just to sort of recap what happens here. You see gets call on a high fastball and then goes up a little higher, and Bautista with a good swing, and now Cervelli wants it even higher, and on 0-2 Bautista's ready for it, and Kelly can't believe it because he was trying to go higher than high and didn't quite get it high enough, and Bautista a very good high fastball hitter as well. See, Cervelli wants it up there.
Not high enough.
Not high enough, and in the middle of the plate as well. Very demonstrative from Bautista.
Oh, 2.
First home run Kelly's given up on an 0-2 pitch.
Such a thing as pitching bad to a hitter's strengths, and you've got a high fastball hitter trying to go up above what they say higher than high, above the letters, and never got it there. Just got it about belt high or just around belt high, and now on this one Cervelli wants it down, the slider down.
Hammered to center field. Ellsbury back, still back, and he makes the play, but not before the Blue Jays tie the score. A 2-run home run for Jose Bautista. Sean Kelly doesn't seem as if he wants to leave the mound. That one left the yard. One swing, tie ball game. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Bautista's happy. Kelly is not. Neither are the Yankees. in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. AARP Long Island sends out this photo. A couple of young Yankee fans. Might have been happy moments ago. Now, some of that happiness left with that home run by Jose Bautista. Game is tied 2-2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And here is the home run that took a win away from Shane Green.
He wants it up there. You can see the level, about letter high instead. And Bautista's going to jump it.
Now here's Derek Jeter. Infield single in the first. Robbed of an extra base hit in the fourth. A home run in the sixth. Hyundai scoreboard shows a 2-2 game. Brendan Morrow is the new pitcher for the Blue Jays.
Limited number of innings for Morrow this year because of a finger injury. Had him on the DL for 60 days.
Yeah, was once a mainstay in their rotation, at the top of the rotation. They were really counting on him. A power right arm, mid-90s fastball.
High fly ball. Right center. Goes, runs it down. Jeter's actually hit the ball hard 4 times tonight. Here's a quick quiz, guys. Jeter's home run was his 4th of the year. How many home runs do you think he's had in his career?
I already know because I
All right, so you recuse yourself.
2 1/4?
260.
260.
And you don't even think of him anywhere close to a home run hitter. That's 260 home runs. Fouled away by McCann. Now he has played 20 years, so certainly not big home run totals, but that's a lot of balls leaving the yard.
He was mid-20s at one point, went as high and almost 30, I believe, not quite 30. There was a time when Derek Jeter was a 20-plus kind of a home run hitter in his peak, and had some big postseason home runs too.
His biggest home run year, David, was 99. He had 24. He had 23 in 2004.
How many runs did he drive in those 2 years?
102 ribbies in 99 when he had the 24. 78 in 2004 was 23. 102 was his career high.
It's his big home run against the Mets in the Subway Series, in that World Series, off of, I believe, Bobby Jones. Leading off the game, they really set the tone in the middle of that World Series over at Shea Stadium.
Also hit a home run against Leiter in that series. As McCann swings and misses for the second out.
Looking at Morrow here, at one time Seattle thought enough of him to draft him #1. Now they traded him to Toronto for Brandon League, but the time was a pretty good reliever, threw very hard. League didn't pan out in Seattle. Moved on. He's with the Dodgers now, I believe. Yeah.
And doing much better in a setup role than as a closer with the Dodgers.
Teixeira takes outside 1-0, 98 miles an hour. That's a big difference from R.A. Dickey.
Morrow's had some injury problems during his career. It's kind of set him back a little bit.
1-1. Teixeira 1 for 3 with a bloop single to left center in the 6th inning.
Doesn't look like he's throwing that hard, but 98, 97 consistently.
Yeah, very encouraging for the Blue Jays to see him healthy and cutting it loose out there.
Smooth delivery.
Fly ball, right center. Anthony goes, puts it away, and the Yankees go down in order against Morrow. 1-2-3. We go to the ninth. If the Yankees going to win tonight, it's going to be in walk-off fashion. 2-2 game. Well, the T-Mobile game changer.
So let's go back to the very last inning with 2 out and 1 on. Jose Bautista on an 0-2 pitch. He knows it. Gardner with the effort. And it's a tie ball game. Spike that like catching a football in the end zone for a touchdown. It's a 2-2 game, and that's our T-Mobile game changer.
Well, the Yankees bring in their closer, David Robertson. David closed out last night's game. Struck out 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Picked up his 37th save in 41 opportunities, 88 strikeouts, and 59 in the 3rd innings pitched. 4, 5, and 6 in the Blue Jays order. And here's Adam Lynn. One and 0.
Lynn is another player that will be a free agent at the end of the year. And a few years ago, he was driving in 100 runs for the Jays.
Two and 1. Count 3 and 1.
Kind of been a similar story all year long for both of these teams, with identical records coming into this game. Noted the Blue Jays kind of in the first half of the season hot, showed signs of breaking out, and then had some injuries and really kind of stumbled down the stretch. It's hard to cry about injuries when you consider the Orioles.
Strike 3, Lind down looking.
Well, that was the best pitch of the sequence to Adam Lynn. Knee high over the outside corner, came at a perfect time. Cervelli doesn't even have to move the glove. Well, barely.
Little cut on the outside corner at the knees. Yes. Certainly high enough from that angle. And just to finish that point, Kenny, you know, both of these teams have had their injury problems, but it's hard to cry foul when you think of the Orioles losing Wieters and Manny Machado as well. You got to give the Orioles credit winning the Eastern Division this year and dealing with their own set of injuries.
And now they don't have Chris Davis for the remainder of the season on into the playoffs. Self-inflicted.
And here is Juan Francisco. He's going to pinch it for Tollison.
And you know how managers are fond of saying, well, next guy has to step up. For Baltimore, it's Steve Pearce. He had 2 home runs yesterday. And now I think he's got 19 or 20.
Talk about the ultimate scrap heap guy that just kept hanging around. Was part of the Yankees for a while. Really, Orioles released him, got him back. As you see, Aaron Sanchez warming up for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, the Orioles released him earlier this year. He was actually free for 4 days, and the Orioles picked him back up.
Well, they told him that they would. Buck Showalter said, we'd get you back. And it was more of a roster situation. And for him to have trust, because other teams called. And he said, no, I'm going to wait. And they did call him back. And now he's got 20 home runs, or 19 or 20 home runs for him. 20.
One and two. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Cervelli throws to first for the second out.
Well, good looking curveball and a good spot in front of home plate. And we've seen Francisco struggle over the last couple of months as well after a pretty good power display in the early part of the season.
That's a David Cohn special. What are you talking about? Practicing throwing the curveball that would hit home plate?
Right, yeah, that was almost in front of home plate. But yes, right on top of home plate is a good spot.
Chase, yeah.
Yes.
And the only reason hitters chase because it's in the middle of the plate and it looks like they can reach it.
Here's Kawasaki. If you want to look ahead to the bottom of the ninth, then why wouldn't you? It's Chris Young, Chase Headley. Check that. Chris Young, Brett Gardner, and Chase Headley coming up for the Yanks.
Now, Troy Benjamin has told me that Steve Pearce actually was claimed by the Blue Jays, but he refused it so he could re-sign with Baltimore.
I think the way Baltimore has played this year and even last year, look at Boston. It's about the team, the total sum.
Paul Robertson works a 1-2-3 ninth inning. Can the Yankees win it in the bottom of the ninth? Chris Young's been a hero a lot lately. He'll start it off. Entertaining with America's fastest, most reliable internet. That's powerful. Hiroki Kuroda will get the start for the Yankees against Mark Burley, and the Yankees really do beat up on Burley. 12-9 overall, 3.40. Our coverage will begin at 6 with a VP show. 6:30 is a pregame show. First pitch at the stadium, usually right around 7:07. So Juan Francisco takes over at third. And the new pitcher is Aaron Sanchez. He's impressive. We did see him in Toronto, and throws hard. Young pitcher they're developing, and he looks like he could be a late inning guy.
Yeah, future closer maybe. You can see the strikeouts. What's more impressive for a young pitcher, only 6 walks.
Here's Chris Young. He is 0 for 3. The 216, the 11, and the 36. Those are the numbers combined between the Mets and the Yankees. With the Yankees, 297, 3 homers, and 8 ribbies. Line drive, a base hit to center field for Chris Young. So the winning run is on base. And the Yankees will start some maneuvering. Antoine Richardson comes out to pinch run for Chris Young, and Brett Gardner, a good bunter, is at the plate.
Well, we know Richardson is the stolen base type. Over 300 stolen bases in the minor leagues. And in the brief time he's been with the Yankees, he's 4-0. So they might be thinking, if he can steal second, then you have Gardner bunt. Get him to third. Which means he's going to have to go early in the count.
Shows bunt, takes low. Young single, the 8th hit for the Yankees. Jays catchers catch 20.3% of attempted base stealers, and that's 27th in Major League Baseball. Not bunting, now 2-0. Shane Green pitched well again, but will not have anything to show for it other than a lower ERA. There he goes. No throw, stolen base for Richardson. And a 3-0 count on Gardner.
I think in Richardson's case, when you send a runner like him to pinch run, the sign is not there. He doesn't get a sign from the third base coach. The manager or coaches will usually tell him, when you feel it, you go. And this is when he felt it. He had seen 3 pitches from Sanchez. He felt like he'd get a good jump. And trying to be quick, Navarro had the ball pop out of his glove. He couldn't make the transfer, and then no shot at all. So Richardson now 5-0 in the stolen base department.
Yeah, Navarro really had no chance. Richardson with an excellent jump, even on a 2-0 fastball.
Now Francisco in on the grass, guarding against the bunt with a 3-0 count. And he does bunt on 3-0. The bunt's foul.
Well, the only run that means anything, a runner, is a run at second. So you're trying to get him to third base any way you can. Whether it's a 3-0 count, that means maybe the feeling is pitch is going to be right down the middle. He's going to try and throw a strike. This might be the best pitch to bunt you're going to get. So we'll see. Trying to make Francisco field the ball at third base.
Bunted foul. Do they have him bunt with 2 strikes? We've seen them do it before with Gardner.
You know, one of the dangers for Francisco, if he gets too close, Richardson has a chance to steal third, and then the catcher would have to hit a moving target on the throw to third. But now he's dropped back with 2 strikes, as he should.
And he bunts. It's a beauty. Right back to Sanchez. And the sacrifice successful, 1-3. Richardson is at third, 90 feet away.
Well, the third time was a charm for Brett Gardner. He does get the runner over. Richardson's now at third. It's going to force the Blue Jays to bring the infield and the outfield in.
Well, the best arm in the outfield is the guy who plays the deepest, and that's Jose Bautista. He's got a cannon in right field. Here's Chase Headley. Came to the Yankees and had a walk-off hit. He could have one right here to end this Thursday night. Infield in, and the first pitch is strike. Missed outside, 97 miles an hour.
I saw that Richardson at third base representing the winning run. I think back to the day, Coney, of Homer Bush. When Joe Torre used to put him in the pinch run, it seemed like he scored every time.
It's still second, steal third.
1-1. 1-2. Goes at Little League depth in center field. Pilar slightly deeper than that, and as we mentioned, the deepest outfielder is Bautista with the best arm. You come into the point that you think you could throw him out. The 1-2. Grounded to first, through the legs of Lind. Here comes Richardson, and the Yankees win 3-2. Well, hearty congratulations for a walk-off E3.
Good job from Headley, down 2 strikes just to get good wood on it. You can see there's the through the wickets from Lind, and Richardson with his speed might have scored anyway, even if Lind fielded it cleanly. Would have been close. A good job by Headley there just to make contact off of Sanchez, who's got strikeout stuff with Derek Jeter. Loves what he sees.
Well, Meredith Marakovitz is in front of the Yankee dugout right now with Chase Headley.
Chase, 1 out, a runner on third. What's your thought process as you step into the batter's box against Aaron Sanchez?
Well, you try to get a good pitch to hit. You don't know what he's going to do with the base open there, if he's going to come right at you or if he's going to, kind of pick at the zone and maybe put you on if he doesn't give you something to hit. But, was able to put it in play.
Sorry, I gave that away a little bit there.
But was able to put it in play. We caught a break. Great way to finish.
What do you think of the at-bats before you? Chris Young getting on base, Brett Gardner moving the guy over?
Just unselfish at-bats. You try to get a guy on. That's a tough right-hander out there, really throwing a good sinker. So Chris took a great swing. Brett got him over, and, probably wasn't the way I drew it up, but I'll take it.
Derek Jeter just 2 for 17 against R.A. Dickey coming into tonight's game. 2 for 3 with a home run. What do you think of his performance?
It's great to see him. He's been swinging the bat a lot better than it shows, and it's nice for a couple to drop in for him. Obviously, hits the ball to the ballpark, so we're never worried about him.
And Shane Green, is he looking like less and less of a rookie out there on the mound?
He's been tremendous. since I've been here, he's thrown the ball really well and given us a chance to win just about every time he's pitched. So, done a tremendous job for us, especially for a rookie.
Chase, thanks for the time. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks.
Michael, back up to you.
Well, thank you, Meredith, and thank you, Chase. So Chase with the ground ball through the legs of Adam Lind. And the Yankees win this game 3-2 to start off the final homestand this season with a victory. You throw it back to the studio. Bob Moranton and Jack Curry set the table.